they didn't get for, second place overall.
All right, it is time. Game number 2. Game number 1 set the stage here for the PUBG Europe League, and what a stage it sets. Let's move on to Erangel once again to find out where this plane is going and where that circle is a-popping.
All right, this time we got a different plane. We got from northwest down to southeast instead. So it's the opposite of the first plane, which means that we're going to see a little bit of shake up on the drops here, but at the same time going through Pochinki. We're going to probably see 2 teams fighting there, and maybe some teams going down to Military Island, maybe.
Absolutely. I doubt we're going to see more than just one team. It looks like FaZe is actually dropping out quite early here. They might just fly all the way, or even put one guy in Novo here. It could be worth it with the plane being so close to it. And it looks like we're not going to see Team Liquid in Pochinki so far, it looks, but I'm quite sure they're going to be able to break it down even further once the casters go to it. Decent plane here, very much for the guys that's going to loot to the northwest. Razor Edge is going to be able to loot North George.
Yeah.
We're going to see Nip in South George and Red Diamonds south of South George.
Fighting going on already
they are
between
fighting. Okay.
Navi and Team Liquid. Let's head over to the commentary team here for all the action as fast as possible.
This is, yeah, we're actually talking as the casters do come into play here. We were just watching that one and trying to see how it unfolds, but they've lost 2 players straight away now.
No, it was a 1-for-1. It was a 1-for-1.
Sorry, we've lost 2 players straight
down
away.
and James down.
And James hit the shotgun.
And you just saw, I think it was Samty or Gemty there that absolutely had nothing. Also, look to the north. Look at this circle. ENCE and M19 going at it. You can see they're close to one another, trying to get away from each other. Obviously, Stauber is where ENCE are trying to get to at the moment, but M19 right on top of them. We're also going to get a bit of a new storyline developing, which we wanted to talk about. He just flipped a car with a bike. Are you kidding me?
He's got a gun on his back, so he might actually be able to, if he gets off here and whiffs him in the face.
Is it a Vector? It's a Vector. Yeah.
It's a little VSS.
A VSS.
Yeah, silently kill him.
Silently spit the bullets. But
manner.
anyway, obviously we have this engagement again, and now I just talked to Team Liquid in the break, and they're like, yeah, we forced them out. So what they actually did, and you can see it now, if you look at the map now, in the mini-map in the corner, you can see what they changed. So Navi, ordinarily, when we talked about it, going to east-west, normally if 2 teams drop, it go east-west. But what Team Liquid did in the last game is they switched it up from scrims, and they caught Navi off guard. Well, this time, Navi are not getting caught off guard. They're not getting caught napping. You can see they've gone onto the west side, Team Liquid on the east side. Ibi kind of surrounded here. Samty's off looting over on the side there, Gemty's looting, and Ibi is the one that's kept very much to himself. Red Diamonds and NIP, they're kind of sharing South Georgia at the moment. Looks like Red Diamonds at the moment are keeping it clean, sticking around the hospital and further south. We did hear in scrims they were kind of sneaking into back 6 and front 6 territory. We'll see whether that develops as the league runs through.
I mean, they don't really have to, because then you'll come to this point where you will be, you know, they run the risks of losing a player here and there early on. You might be able to force back and lose time while you wanted to gather that gear, get the chests, get the helmets, get the guns. More importantly, get the scopes as well, because those guns need a lot of attachments, and there's a lot to be said for decent looting. There's all right, you know, just having your normal loots, and you will have these planned loot routes that you do, and this is one of the issues that we'll see for Navi and Liquid, is that their looting time is completely shot at the moment. It's all up in the air, so when they come out of these engagements, it's all right having I've got a couple of kills here and there, but Ibi has sat put for the entire time. I don't even know if he's got a helmet. He has literally not been able to do anything else. The rest of the team, it just hurts your economy so much on both sides. Honestly, it doesn't do either of them any good. Okay, it's all right trying to stand here and see, you know, who's got the bigger balls and who wants to be the one that comes out on top. Yeah, we won Pochinki. But honestly, coming out of this afterwards, both economies are going to be so smashed to bits, you're not really going to be able to do much in the late game.
And I think we saw it a lot from when obviously Navi and Liquid clashed on the hillside of the prison. They were both low on meds. They didn't really have a great deal of meds. Navi certainly, because they had that one big engagement, Liquid, and then just saw went, we're going to die in blue because we're not going to face Vitality. We don't have the meds to do this. So they actually opted to die to the play zone fairly early on. I think it may even kept them out of points. I'm not too sure. When maybe snuck a point in there, maybe at best. CrowCrowd, we saw them early on there. They didn't have ENCE nearby, but they've kind of sat comfortable at the moment. But with the circle being as it is, you know, these teams that we've been focusing on, obviously Liquid and Navi, teams are already rotating. We're at 5-minute mark. TSM already looking to get themselves their final bit of loot and get out of there. Vitality, who go apartment school, playing path perfect for them. They're already on the move. They're looking to center up, and it looks like maybe Crossroads are they going to go for here? I'm trying to think of really the best central point for this circle. Shooting range is kind of in there. I think there are a couple of compounds around that area that CrowCrowd are kind of covering at the moment will be their spots. Decent crate drumming down there.
Crate.
Who's going to be able to get that one? Possibly Digital Athletics. If they go south, I'd probably more think maybe G2 on a rotate will probably find that more likely. Rotations, speaking of them, you can see NIP on the move. Also on the eastern side, Pittsburgh Knights and FaZe Clan kind of running parallel with one another along the far eastern edge of the map.
I'm intrigued to see how FaZe actually do in terms of gear. Obviously,
Interesting.
they'll have been the last ones to actually hit their spot all the way over at Milter Power, and now they'll completely run the coastal road.
The Joker's scouting Pachinki there. They're kind of they're trading on the top of that hill, but they're definitely scouting Pachinki.
I mean, it depends. If they want to play edge, they can do. Look at that circle with the top end lead, with the northern edge just been in the water. They kind of know that it should, in theory, come down south. So they might not want to go too far and overextend into enemy territory too deep. Also, we don't really know what gear they've got, where they're going. It might just be not necessarily a scout, but certainly a look ahead to see what's possible and what can come out. The thing for FaZe is they will know that StarLadder area tends to be where ENCE likes to hang around. They know it's their loot location. They also need to be aware that when we look towards the Pittsburgh Knights that love the mansion, Lepovka, and surrounding kind of split area, that's generally their terrain and their territory, they'll be working the way more than likely up north. These teams, they do like the northerly kind of migration, if you will. I'm interested to see where FaZe actually comes in and what they can kind of make off the back of this. Saverni's open, but again, you would assume that this circle goes down south. Hell, it's PUBG, anything can happen. I'm seeing a couple of bullet traces still from Na'Vi and this Team Liquid engagement. There was a bit of a, not necessarily a back down, but certainly a pause for both teams to be able to go and get themselves back together. Kane can't drive, unfortunately. I'd like to ask Martin which player's on the screen next to him now and is actually driving. But he'll probably be getting that meme in the background anyway. Brexico further afield. NIP are going to head up north as well. They're almost directly in the centre. But you've got this really, with this circle, not necessarily a full yin and yang effect, but the Georgia Paul River that runs parallel all the way down to the Yasnaya Pond, it kind of caused a bit of a split difference because you've got to pick a side. And, you know, you've got a 50-50 chance of it going your way, I suppose, if you want to say this. And then the rotations become a lot harder. Whichever side of this river you pick, if the circle goes the opposing way, you're then lacking on the compound front, and you then got to run the dungeon gauntlet to be the first to kind of bootleg it into one of those compounds and hope to Christ that nobody's actually set up ahead of the game.
Yeah, and it's the reason that obviously most of them do opt for going the northern route. Yeah, wanted, you're not going to get past that many guns pointed at your vehicle. So raise your edge, losing a man early on. But yeah, it's the reason that most people do tend to opt for this. This is, of course, towards the North Georgia Ball area where raise your edge start out. Caught out by Red Diamonds. They are on the south sort of side, so always going to be relatively close to one another. But we are seeing, by the way, Team Liquid slowly leaving Pachinki. Does not look like they have a vehicle to me. They are both all on foot. Samti's actually split away from his two teammates as well. G2 passing by on the western side, eastern side of Pachinki. Actually almost leapfrog Team Liquid and causing them a problem. There's the circle shift. That's the one we wanted. And it's a big old shift, but it goes to a relatively well-known area. We've all seen circles finishing in this territory. It's been a pretty common circle, and already you can see the teams getting to their favorite location.
Gonna see who gets the foothold on this one. I was going to suggest something about the location of Samti, whether he was going purposely to the backside of that church area to see if he could cop for Navi. Now the call will come through. The rest of Team Liquid are allowed to lay down the fire here. If he back with the SLR, see if he can at least get some sort of knockout of him. Tires have gone. That vehicle should still be drivable. It might have just lost one on the back foot. All three players in there. Bit of damage here, there, and everywhere. Pokemon down to about 25%. They will pull up just to get the health back. The vehicle will certainly be a bit more damaged. Red Diamond still playing a great little game here and just catching people on rotation. That's the second one, maybe even potentially third that they've picked up. Just waiting along the crossroads, waiting for more people. And we kind of,
Yeah.
D-Mash is down, so that will be 2 or 3 they've actually picked up. Make that 3 if he does go down. Also,
Oh, look at the north. It's getting a little crowded there as well. Aduzi does finish it off D-Match, so Joker's 2 down, but everybody trying to find their favorite compound. It's starting to get a bit busy. Michael, the man that got 8 frags in the first round. Incredible, incredible score for the Geordie, but he is now being bombarded. Rustam, what just happened there, son? Just happened there. You shot yourself somehow. Iro will finish Michael off, and he's going to go down. The first TSM man down. They're kind of pinned in towards it. And you can see in the distance, Vitality also trying to flank her around, but they're trying to get themselves a better position. Maybe pushing on the backside. Is somebody outside? Maybe they are. Wookie Bookie has to hit the dirt and quickly gets himself back inside.
I mean, taking a shot like that for Vitality, maybe he had more information than I could see. That car's still rolling. That's from TSM uphill, so please don't get scoomed and get run over by a wild vehicle in the middle of nowhere.
Are we dubbing it the Scoom now?
Getting scoomed.
That's a little harsh.
I mean, you can't let him live it down, right? It was the most weirdest and wonderful thing I've seen in a long time, but you hate to see it, you love to see it, one of those scenarios. Yeah, when we're looking towards where Vitality are actually laying down fire onto TSM there, TSM got a compound, Vitality don't. They're out in the open. You're going to be ringing the alarm bell, letting everyone know where they are. The fact that Digital Atletico are actually not kind of sitting on this one and just diving into a compound, I kind of like it. They're spreading out a little bit to get a bit more information. In terms of Vitality, whether or not they do now evacuate to a different position, that's a different question altogether. FaZe, they've done what we've seen them do time and time again, take that coastal road on the right and then work their way in up north. They've also extended themselves. They're not sitting on the back, they are going further afield. You've got Mexi kind of searching for a little bit of more information to feed that back to the team. You can see Joker's already down to 2, TSM losing their main top fragger from the previous round, who, just to kind of touch on that one as well, I know we were giving Michael a lot of the praise for the picks and the kills that he was getting, but the damage, it was coming from Gustav. The man had 733. He was a top damage dealer. He was absolutely peppering teams left, right, and centre. And when you have a player like that who can put down so much damage, and then you have a team that is happily just listens to your communication, listens to where you're directing the fire, then they can happily mop up. It's so, so good to see. And when you've got that level of damage on the team, it kind of shows what they did. Almost, my OCD kind of loves that circle, dead center.
You know what? We were talking about it right from the start. Look to the south of your map. Everybody is on foot. Na'Vi, Team Liquid, no vehicles. They are running it on the edge as well. Samti's just got inside the circle and he's going again. You've all had that game in real life, in your pugs, maybe even you're playing in public games, where the circle's just been on your back the whole time. You just feel like you're playing Running Man Simulator. And that seems to be what they're doing. They've got no vehicles, and now really they can't use the vehicles. So they're in a real tricky situation here, Team Liquid. And it's, we're going to keep on going on about this. How long do you keep on fighting for one spot when there's so much territory available?
The question is do Na'Vi sit now
Winstrike
on the bridge and just be buggers and just hold them back? Winstrike Gaming, unfortunately, getting shot into a billion pieces in Oblivion. 2 players fall perpendicular just like that. Elite player does get answered back though, as Nuki just gets himself inside the little cupboard. They will lose one in this engagement. If Jorski Boy can get himself in there, which he should, close the door, they can stay alive just for now. Konstantin does take out Elite player and finish him off, unfortunately. Mikas sees Kane rolling down the hill. Easy knock for him. Whether or not he can confirm this one, it doesn't matter. Squeaky.
He's getting pushed. He's getting pushed. They're all coming. G2 either side of him. Medimo fires off in the distance, but Chris and Brexico kind of want this one. Molly coming down. No, he didn't get in the window.
I'd love to have seen that. Just burning inside the shaft.
Raise your edge and Red Diamond. This is just on the edge of the west side of the circle, so they're outside of the zone at the moment. Both these having to fight for it. Bestelok, what a beast he was at GLL, the highest damage dealer by far. Monster performance. Didn't quite hit that same level at Minsk, though, but Red Diamonds find themselves here, and he's trying to pressure down the hill. Both of these kind of keeping themselves out the zone. You can see the blue on the mini-map there pushing on their backs and forcing them to give up the fight, really, and continue moving down the hillside. And NIP are going to be watching this one play out as they all come down the hill towards them.
We'll watch this one and feel free to, as soon as the fight kicks off, Lee, pick it up from me and guide us through it. But when we talk about Red Diamonds a bit more, and you were talking about the stat, they have been extending into Georgia Paul just a little bit. I honestly think they should look at it from a different angle. They've got a great amount of time to look down that, the western coast, kind of the Tempo Storm area, so to speak. There's so much open ground for them. If they get a really decent circle, I can see these guys playing off the back of that, doing so well. Oh, that wasn't the same player, but that was actually someone else. He was looking at one going for it. And
it's some sweet irony because Digital Athletics were firing at Team Liquid and Na'Vi saved Team Liquid there. That's some sweet irony. And Recurrent, the man that obviously got took out straight away in the first game. But yeah, that was a hell of belter of a shot.
Ira again, unfortunately, has to be the man doing the red and taking out. And he's a really good fragger for that roster as well.
Oh, you hate to see it. That's a real kicker for Team Liquid. Talking about Gemty Samty, the brothers continuing to try and make the move. They've got a long run ahead of them, and now everybody tries to move north. Think of, obviously, FaZe Clan. They took a big rotate and a big gamble, and it's kind of cost them. Pittsburgh Knights, who stayed where they were, have got themselves a beautiful compound right now, along with ENCE. Mikaz kind of separated from his team, but Thrifley and Squeaky are in a really strong compound at the moment. They're being pressured as Raise Your Edge try and crash in on towards G2. As G2, well, they're kind of within grenade range. Well, I was talking about Mikaz being on his own, separated, but he's getting kills.
Look at the steal instantly. Mikaz went for it, and it just, before he even had a chance to solidify it, an IP player comes in and just seals the deal with one bullet. That's 1 point going their way. And this is why it's so important. The fact that it's 1 point per kill and we're so limited for points. Every single kill needs to count. You need to confirm it straight away. Or just like that, someone will rock in, steal it. I'm seeing Gustav taking a lot of damage. Wookie Bucky's gone down in the back as well. This is a transition for TSM.
Oh, Sixmo is going to drive over Fast Rail. No, he's going to blast on through. They're going to picked off. TSM eliminated in 16th place. 31 points in game 1. A big fat 0 in game number 2. Digital Athletics going sliding in. The beautiful death comes around, and Mikaz is going to be the target. But look at how much third party is going on. It is a battle in Star Wars right now on the screens as they all come blasting through. Mikaz will go down. Iro should be able to get Sixmo back on his feet. How they blasted in there. This is absolute carnage at the moment. Team Liquid trying to do the same, sending 3 in a vehicle as Gemty and Ibiza go down. Samty, the last man standing for them as he's continuing north. I don't really know where he's going to stop. A shack has got to be the place. He's getting lit up as well. Jazza gets in there. Samty, will he be saved? Just about.
Word. With a slither of health. At the start of the game, this is exactly what he had, and he's still in the same, just holding on Liquid's life. But I've got to say, in fact, I'll let you guide us through this one. I'll talk about it again in a second, because FaZe are pushing on this one. M19, they've got a crowd knocking at the door outside. Welcome wagons here.
Gets 80 down, and that's going to stall them out. You can see Vitality looking to take in shots. Meanwhile, just also to the west of this, there's a 3-team clash that we'll try and keep all that in the picture in pitch. You can see CrowCrowd and Red Diamonds with Navi in the background as FaZe pressure M19 on your main screen right now. Get 80 back on the feet. Nades rolling on both sides. Keep your eye on the action. He's just got himself back on his feet. He's down again. Next he sees Constantine. The support arrives as Ehot's being saved out. Constantine getting tagged up. Meanwhile, in the bottom of your screen, Recurrent gets himself a couple of kills. The third party in working well as Red Diamonds. Pressure on towards CrowCrowd. Dream for you and Aduzi. Aduzi goes down and Red Diamonds eliminated in 15th. Oh, that nade.
Are going in. We'll see how much damage it actually does. Constantine, he is locked back.
It's
in, so they can get 2 in there. The fires flood through the house. This will do so much damage. CrowCrowd's eliminated. 14th place now. V strike them in the back. Iro, kill feed. Chris goes down with a grenade. Samty, you can see him still just praying. Same goes for Wanderer as well. Both of these teams literally holding on by a mere shack. Uber finishes it off for M19, but again, they do have this emergency backup just hiding away.
Here we go. Circle's about to shrink, and Navi are already on the move. The question is, will Vitality put the damage down on them? Battalin's had to bail from his vehicle. Pokamolado already going, but where can you go? There's a couple of shacks you can see. Look at Wad's Pittsburgh Knights. A few shacks, little white dots on your map there is where they're aiming to get, but they've had to pull up, and NIB are smashing them in the backs.
All comes down to Molodoi, whether or not he can land a pick with that K9. If he can do some damage or at least just remove VAD from the window, then he'll be able to easily get the res. But they are not laying up. That vehicle should blow up any second. The tires have gone. It's smoking. That explosion shouldn't actually kill them. They are far enough away. Whether or not NBS just pulls up and finishes them, you know what? They want it. They want the points. Look at this. Grenades are up and over. They're pushing on this one. I like the play.
More movement. Vitality blasting through as well. Look at them in the distance. Natus runs over Raise Your Edge, Fast Rail. And that is Raise Your Edge out in 13th place. They come speeding on in there. They managed to get around. Now G2 have got battling right next to him. That's going to be Brexico picking himself up an easy kill. That's going to give his position away as NIP continuing to try and squeeze through. Na'Vi in all sorts of trouble. The Jokers head for the ditch on the east side. There's FaZe Clan. They start to launch it in towards Nuki for Winstrike.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, he's surrounded.
You've got to be so scared. You can close the door all you want, my friend, but FaZe is here. Knock, knock, knock. Wake the hell up, boy. Grenades are in. They're coming in thick and fast. Because FaZe, they want to clear this one out. They need to move forward. This is not inside the circle. The death squad is here.
Oh, at the same time, Wanderer found Jorski. Exact same time. And Winstrike go down in 12th place.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's down to the zone. He might have just given himself up. Pokemon though. Pre-smoke's all there. They'll build a wall, try and run this one parallel to NIP. They do have 4 guys alive. I'm seeing level 1 gear as well for Na'Vi, which is absolutely atrocious at this level of the game and speaks volumes to the economy at the start. Sharing a town is not doing anyone favours for Na'Vi or Liquid, unfortunately, late game.
And look at the ground they had to cover. They have NIP to the north and Vitality to the south. It's really hard territory for them, but Brexico may well have just leveled things out a bit. He gets himself quick one down there. Meanwhile, FaZe Clan, how did they just land the shot onto Na'Vi? That's miles away. They're way in the distance. Vitality should have had that in the bag, but no, FaZe steal another one away. They had a poor game one and looking to try and even things out. While this is all happening, by the way, Pittsburgh Knights, they've been sat in that warehouse in the north completely unimpeded with the Car 98s popping off.
This kind of feels like the standard setup that we've seen for quite some time from the Pittsburgh Knights. They're not necessarily a passive team, but they're a late game team. They like to chill for a little bit, get a decent compound.
EMEA
Really good at finding themselves on the map, and it seems they're doing it so now. Even without Sexus, NBS though, as you say, 2 of them gone down as simple like that. NBS, he will follow through, at least claim this for himself so they can continue forward. They do have the circle towards the Pittsburgh Knights. I say they do have the circle. It's kind of gone their way as in they're keeping inside it at least. But it's textbooks play. They will keep themselves alive and then rear their heads at the late game.
Well, that circle continues to give the Pittsburgh Knights that compound, but we should also talk about ENCE's compound and Samty. Samty, you remember the pressure that was on Team Liquid? They lost the 2 in the vehicle. Samty left alone. He's still got that shack. He's in a prime spot right now to take easily a top 4 spot. The circle doesn't move away from him.
Lee, this could be incredible because Fuzzface is giving all this information. If one of them can get some kind of angle or flank, this could be yeah, this could be interesting because if he's given this information, if one of them actually manages to pressure up on the other side of it,
Look at the tracer
they're
fire.
just going to go for it.
That's all the Pittsburgh Knights. So while FaZe and Vitality are trying to pop off of one another, that's a great little circle. Monkey gets around, gets himself 2 down. Uber gets another. He gets dropped. Jazza replies. It's pretty much a 1-for-1 right now between the 2 teams. And FaZe Clan in all sorts of trouble.
Jazza.
Who do they have left standing? I think it's just Mexi. Mexi's the only one. The Blues on the back. Jazza tries to get away. He goes down, and Vitality go out in 8th place. But FaZe are left with 1 standing. That was 2 4-man teams wiping each other out.
And it all came down to the fact that Monkey just sat there waiting for FaZe to make a move.
He's going for the same shack.
Literally kind of like a trip mine. As soon as they came forward, he then reared his head. They're still trying to nade out Samty because they know he's there. Mexi, he's got to step away from that vehicle. A few more bullets, unfortunately, it will be going up in a ball of smoke. The Wanderer goes down to M19. They go out. It might be a lucky... Oh, that's from Samty. Still trying to get a kill, even as a one-man band. It shows you how vital these points are, Lee. Even a situation where normally in older games of PUBG, you'd sit in a shack, just kind of put your head between your legs and pray for placement. Even now, look for the extra kill.
Look for that top 5 finish. Well, it may well come his way. Trifoli just keeping the Jokers out the circle as the Blues now on their backs. The Pittsburgh Knights, the only team standing with 4 men to the good. The tab goes down and dusted. Senya's going to be following him in just a moment as he tries to come out of the smoke. You can see Trifoli lighting him up. The Pittsburgh Knights are going to be looking to try and steal this one away as well as they can. It's going to be Reels, the new man, trying to lay the shots down. Voxic will get it. And Pittsburgh Knights nick another. So, circle about to update. Will it go the Pittsburgh Knights' way? Will they keep 4 alive in the warehouse and let everybody come up the hill to them? Or will they be forced to start tracking down that hill? ENCE, of course, sitting in their compound on the east side of your map, and MBS way out west on the edge of the circle.
Look at the range again.
He got Mexi. He caught him.
Oh, he literally just planted him between the eyes.
They've got to move. They've got to move now. Okay, so how much smokes? Now, Pittsburgh Knights have kind of been sat here the entire time, right? They took that northern route. They came around the beach just like FaZe did. They chose to stay up in the north, stay in the compounds, while FaZe went west. So Pittsburgh Knights, they've not really been involved and had to use too much utility.
So, again, this is kind of like an old situational game where you played for placement. The Knights are playing that old style where they'll turn up to the late game with
5 smokes.
All 4 players still alive.
Why is he driving?
They do at least have 5 kills, so they're not completely sitting back and doing nothing whatsoever. Got to be careful of these shacks because the wooden ones can be destroyed now, but he's got these barrels that he can play off the back of, potentially even use the vehicle as some sort of hard cover. So it's a decent little place, but he needs to be aware of these 2 individual players.
Got it.
Bullet comes his way. Unfortunately, will push him back for now, but the rest of his teammates, they can transition off the back of that.
He's got 5 smokes. Lay a path. Give cover for your team.
I mean, they've got to be fair. When there's only 2 players down at the bottom, they've got 4 up. They can all do that. They'll build a wall themselves of these vehicles, and now they're inside the circle because you would suspect when you look at the opposing side of the little compound that they're in.
MBS is sending it. It's going to Samty's shack. He's going to Samty's shack. You can see ENCE, they want to get a look on this one, but it's Samty going in. The nade cooked on towards MBS. Good night. Team Liquid, though, they managed to salvage 4th place out of that as Samty gets himself another. It's incredible.
He must have lowballed that out of the window.
Yeah.
Just lowballed it over. But
as soon as he drove in, he was cooking it, boom, popped it out the window.
Going back to ENCE, you would suspect, obviously, that they now have to come out because that blue is so close to that compound. In theory, the Knights, they have a better position because they're further in. He actually literally like, well, I'm just going to sit here and die because there's nothing I can do about that one. Banks it off the side. Perfectly cooked. Samu very aware. The Knights are in the best position.
Yep.
Everyone else has to kind of come for them. And when they've got 2 minis and 2 K9s, you're shooting fish in a barrel at this point. Samty again playing for placement, but still bagging a few kills along the way. Fair play to the lad. It only takes 1 bullet for one of these boys to pretty much do the nail in the coffin and send ENCE out in 3rd. Samty will be allowed to play for 2nd.
I've lost count the amount of times I've seen these circles that finishes in this exact same spot. It is the same old standard spot, and all these teams well aware of it. And obviously the Knights, they have themselves the wooden shack. While it doesn't offer too much protection, it gives you cover until you need it. And now, of course, ENCE and Team Liquid both need to leave their compounds and lay down as much cover, while you can see the DMRs all ready to go for the Pittsburgh Knights as soon as they make the move. Samty, it doesn't matter whether he finishes 3rd or not. That is a great performance. They left Pachinki without a vehicle. They ran the entire way. They finally found a vehicle, blasted it in, got to the shack, stayed safe. And he's actually protected himself in that shack. He took a couple of fights. You know, he threw nades towards Mexi. Obviously just popped the nade on MBS there. I think he got another one on the way in. So he's done good work here for Team Liquid.
He's definitely scraped the bottom of the barrel and pretty much done exactly the best that he could have done, to be honest with you. You can't ask for no more from the lad. Smokes, nades, fire, whatever, just to try and claw his way. I mean, he's still got a few smokes, and he'll obviously be able to clean up dead bodies that he's had there. If he can get a pick onto...
They're firing at ENCE. He's going to use this as a chance to move. He's sneaking in ENCE. And actually, look at the coverage. Look at the coverage he has from Reels' position there.
Oh, here we go.
Just got caught by the head, though. Squeaky is the man that caught him. He had the prime position. Pittsburgh Knights weren't able to get the shots on him, but Squeaky still manages to get a shot off at the end. It will be the Pittsburgh Knights who will take themselves an easy win in the end. They just sat in their warehouse, and that's really all they needed to do. They got themselves, I think, 7 kills by the end of the game there.